Hey, BSHL fans, and welcome to another edition of the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. Here's your hosts, the Corys.
Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
The co-host, Corey. That must be me.
How you doing today, bud?
Doing great. Watching a lot of Netflix wrestling on Netflix.
WWE got added to Netflix. Raw will be live on Netflix next Monday. The Royal Rumble will be live on Netflix in February.
February 1st.
Yeah, it has led to both of us falling down an old wrestling rabbit hole today, I think.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
SummerSlam 1995, Cat's Out of the Bag on the Maritime Warrior. My next series is Wrestling in 1995, and I had just finished notes on SummerSlam, but I must have watched it. My uncle owned a video rental store, and he had all these tapes. So I must have watched it, but I didn't remember it. So
where's his video rental store?
You know La Caja Hamar?
Yep.
My uncle owned that from 1986, before I was even born, to 1998, I believe it was.
Okay.
So I remember the last videotape he even had before he sold the cassettes. He didn't sell the store first. He sold like the video rentals and all that. The last WWF tape he had was Royal Rumble 1997.
Wow, that's quite the memory you've got there, Vautour.
Yeah, I'm an oddball.
I watched Royal Rumble 88, 89. Kind of just piddled around there. Then I looked at some old Raws. Then I looked at the Raw that I was at in Quebec City. I was like, wait, that's probably on here too. So I watched that because the intro of that one had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and like.
I remember finding you and Tracy the second there was a wide shot.
Yep.
You're hard to miss. That bald head of yours is so hard to miss.
Thanks, bitch.
And I remember going, found right there. That's clearly Tracy. And you were like in a section where you see the full body. Like you can't miss it.
There was nobody in front of us. So we were sitting first row behind like an exit or entrance for players. Yeah. So it was fun though. It was a good time. So I found that, watched some of that, and then I read for about an hour. So
yeah,
it's kind of.
I haven't read yet.
You haven't read?
No, I bought the Ultimate Warrior book that came out, and when my stepdad passed away, I just like decided to take some time to just recuperate, and haven't started reading yet, and I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but I will let you know once I start reading it if it's a yay or a nay, because when it comes to the Ultimate Warrior, a polarizing figure like that, it can be hot or cold. You never know.
I'm kind of curious your thoughts on the book, so I'm looking forward to you reading it. Once again, I highly recommend everybody, if you're looking for some books, Trey Lewis. By Bruno Richard, great book.
Mon idole, Trey Lewis.
Very easy read, and one of my favorite books that I read last year. So,
Fun fact.
The only book you read last year?
Only book I read last year.
One of many for me, but it was up there. It's a good read, easy one. So, check that out if you haven't already. Get it on Amazon or message Bruno. I didn't watch too much wrestling. You're probably going to bury yourself in wrestling for the next few weeks because it's you.
Yeah.
And anytime you regain access to the WWE network, which sometimes in Canada hasn't always been easy to access.
No, it has not. When I had it with
States.
Bell, I had to go through 2 different emails to access it. How does that make sense to you?
Yeah. They made it extremely frustrating. I'm glad that now it's just simply on Netflix. You asked the question about is WCW there. I'm going to look that up and find out. You want to get into the games this weekend, Corey?
While you do that, I will get into the games this weekend. On Friday, the LC Puck Duck Hawks, they will be in the Peninsula. 8 p.m. will be that game. Also on Friday, potentially the podcast will be at this game. The Dalhousie Marauders will be in Amherst to face the Ducks.
As long as the weather's good, we'll be there.
As long as the weather's good, people know I'm a chicken when it comes to bad weather driving. I usually don't drive. The Roby Show family loves to drive for some reason, but Anyway, on Saturday, Amherst will be in Dalhousie. 7:30 is that game. On Sunday, two big games. The Peninsula will be in Elsie. 5:30 is that game, and Miramichi will be in Bucktouche. 6:45 is that game. I think the Miramichi Bucktouche game might be the one game that I think could steal the weekend.
I think it's going to be a good one for sure. Last time Bucktouche hosted Miramichi gave them a real run for their money. I'm excited for that game. I think we'll figure out what we're doing on Sunday, but somebody from the podcast will be at both games. Yeah. It doesn't appear that WCW is on there yet.
So. It'll eventually be there. There's no rush.
That's kind of annoying, though. Anyway, whatever. I noticed no ECW stuff is really there either.
Yeah, well, it's still brand new.
If you search ECW on there, you get ECW December to Dismember, but it's actually WWE ECW, you know?
Yeah, and that has I think that has the record for worst pay-per-view buy rate by WWE event. I think they only had 90. I think they had 90,000 buys or something like that.
Brutal.
Which usually it's 100,000, or I remember WrestleMania 6 was 550,000 buys, which is massive for the early 90s. And by the Attitude Era, they're in the 1 million buys. So
1.5s, 1.6s. Yeah. Anyway, so it's limited, but it's there. So check that out if you're a wrestling fan. I know some podcast followers are wrestling fans. Some are not. Good for you guys, but some of us are weird kids still. So we love it. Want to do our predictions real quick?
Sure. LC and the Peninsula. In the Peninsula.
I've got the Peninsula here.
I also have the Peninsula. Why do you have the Peninsula?
I just think they're going to win. They're at home. They'll probably have a good roster. First game after the holidays. I think Elsie might be struggling to get their roster together still. Mm-hmm. So I think that's.
I also think the Peninsula's had a few L's lately, and I think they need something here.
Yeah, I agree.
So next up, Dalhousie and Amherst.
I have, the Amherst Ducks are good at home. I'm going Amherst.
I also have Amherst. There's something about Amherst at home where they just seem like world beaters.
It's a different team.
Yeah. Next up is Amherst in Dalhousie.
And I have Dalhousie for the same reasons.
I also have Dalhousie. Dalhousie at home that rink is so loud.
Yeah. It was still shocking to me when the Lumberjacks went there and beat them in the playoffs last year. And the Jacks were playing crazy that game.
They were.
But anyway, I've got the Marauders.
All right. So the Peninsula in Elsie.
I have Elsie.
I also have Elsie. Why do you have Elsie?
They're going to have their roster together by then. It's a home game. They're going to win. It's my gut.
Final game, Miramichi Bucktouche.
I have Miramichi.
We differ there. I think Bucktouche. You asked me last week, is there a team that will beat Bucktouche at home? The way they played last game on Sunday, no, they're going unbeaten at home. I'm putting the stamp of approval right now. I think Bucktouche goes unbeaten at home. I'm picking the road team every game from here on out in Bucktouche just to give them some mojo. And I don't care. I don't want them to go unbeaten. I don't mind that the JCs are having a great season. I'm enjoying it. It's fun to watch. They definitely deserve it. They worked hard, but I don't want them to go undefeated at home. I don't know. I hope they lose one game at home. If it happens, it happens. And you've been the good luck charm for teams that you pick. So you might have sealed the JC's fate there, but we'll see. You want to get into the standings?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
So the standings as of right now, you'll never guess who's in first place.
The good old Dalhousie Marauders. Oh, sorry. I was still living last year.
12-5-0 for 24 points. The Dalhousie Marauders are number 2. They have a 9-5-1 record for 19 points. The Miramichi Northmen are in third place, 3-7-2 for 18 points. The Elsie Buckduck Hawks are in fourth place, 8-7-0 record for 16 points. They're above 500 now. La Corsaire de la Péninsule Acadienne with a 5-6-4 record for 14 points. And the Amherst Ducks, a 5-10-0 record for 10 points. Still very close, but very little hockey to go.
You want to go in and correct your Miramichi standings because you said they were 3-7-2 or something.
8-7-2.
8-7-2. The math wasn't mathing there, and I know that somebody was going to say something. So
yeah, with Corey, if you're not mathing, he'll math you out.
That's right. So playoffs start today. What are the matchups?
Dalhousie and Amherst once again.
Dalhousie's got a bye.
Miramichi and Amherst. My bad. You're so rusty, man.
I know. Get back to it here. Wake up.
Not good.
Wake up, bitch. Wake up.
Well, Miramichi and Amherst, that actually be a good matchup.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
And the drive isn't as far. And LC Puck Duck and Le Corsair, which
I think that would be very interesting.
I'm almost certain right now that the only two teams that can move, like I can give or take, is either Dalhousie or Miramichi. I think Le Corsair stay at 5. I think Amherst stays at 6, and I think LC stays at 4. So I think unless something miraculously happens, I think LC and the Peninsula is almost a given for the first round. My thought right now. I still
think LC can move up a little bit. I think you could see LC and Amherst in the first round. I agree with you that Miramichi, though, man, they've been playing well, so they could move into that second bye. I don't think they want to.
Yeah.
I think the bye is a curse. I wouldn't want the bye unless you're Buckdouche. Buckdouche, whatever, man, they could have a bye and a truck sitting on their shoulders, and they're still going to be good in the playoffs. There's just nothing you can do.
Well, we haven't seen any teams in the playoffs. Let's not forget, there's a lot of these players that are brand new to this team. To these teams, I should say. You know, you're great in the regular season. Doesn't mean you're going to be world beaters in the playoffs. Playoff hockey is a complete different beast.
How much of that is what's fueling Dalhousie right now? You're seeing the chemistry come back. They're clicking. This is, for the most part, the same team as last year.
Yep. You know, a few interchangeable players here and there from last season. But it's the core is still there. I think Dalhousie is going to be very dangerous come playoffs. And if Dalhousie ends up getting the third spot and they play Amherst or Le Corsair or whoever's in 6th place, I think it just helps them move further. I think some time off is no bueno. And I same thing for Buckdouche, but Buckdouche, they can lose the rest of their games and they're still finishing first or second.
I can tell you right now that Dalhousie does not want to face Amherst in the first round because that's a hell of a commute. So if you're Dalhousie, you either want to finish in second or you want to finish in fourth. Third is rough. You'd have to be looking at maybe 2 games in Dalhousie, 2 games in Amherst, and then 1 game in Dalhousie, or I'm not sure how they could work it out, but the commute is really something there. The Marauders, I was thinking about this as people were debating, you know, the people calling Matias a backup, and they're like, oh, Dalhousie might have the best goaltenders out of any team in this region.
Yeah.
You know, Sam Gendron went over to the CRL, which, you know, I hope he's doing well. I've seen that he's been having some success, but a former Marauder, Mathias Savoie, solid goaltender. And then LeMay, man, like not every team in this league can have 3 starting goaltenders, but there's definitely something in the water in Dalhousie for goaltenders.
Yeah.
My God.
When it comes to trio or duo goalies, absolutely. Singular goalie, there's no debate, none whatsoever. It's Alex Collette.
I don't disagree with you. He's a lot of people gave him a little doubt at the start of the year. You kind of heard that from some people that he wasn't the best goalie in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The best goalie in the league was Ryu. I think there's no debating it to me. I heard some people argue for Vautour. Heard some people argue for Gendron. Gendron having won 2 cups in 2 years. Mm-hmm. For my money, if I'm building a team in senior hockey, that's probably pick one.
Yeah.
I'd take Colette over anybody just for his consistency. Last year was challenging, comes back this year with a good attitude. Had a good attitude last year despite the struggles for the JCs.
Yeah.
And, he's been a huge part of this team's success, as is evident by their losses when he wasn't there. It's a different team when he's not there. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Again, Colette's got to keep his blocker where it belongs going forward because they can't afford to get into the playoffs without him for sure.
Yeah.
What are the leaders for players, Corey?
So goals leader with 13 goals is Logan Timmins. So he got 1 goal, and just that 1 goal put him over everybody else. Forwards points leader, we have a tie with 25 points, Pascal Valcourt and Bryce Milson. On D, with 15 points, Alex Bernier has taken over. And in net, we have with 10 wins, Alex Colette.
Bernier quietly having a hell of a season.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Bernier and Hardy. It's so much fun to watch the Northmen just for that reason alone. There's a lot of things I like about the Northmen. Love watching the Milsons. Obviously love Keating. But man, their defense this year has been fun to watch. They're very offensive-minded defensemen, which leads to some interesting breakouts and interesting pinches. So I'm looking forward to seeing them on Sunday in Bouctouche. I don't know, man. Pretty excited. Last few weeks of the season here. I think we have 3 weekends left.
3 weekends left, yeah.
Oh, my God. This is the busiest of the 3.
Yeah.
It only slows down a bit more after that, and then we're into the playoffs. And this year, it's not as bad as last year. There's not going to be 4 series going at once in the first round.
No.
So there's 2 series in the first round, 2 series in the second round, and obviously 1 in the finals. It's going to be good. It's going to be very enjoyable. You're going to be seeing a lot of live streams. So you're going to be hearing a lot of Corey's voice. Don't slash anybody in the dick. The ding dong, whatever the hell you called it.
Now that one went over pretty well, huh?
It's I've watched it a few times. I laugh every time.
Yeah, you never know what'll come out of my mouth. I'm the funniest when the lights aren't on.
You have a good New Year's Eve? What do you guys do?
I I recorded a video for the Maritime Warrior. And on New Year's Day, I ate some ham.
All right. So I got together with Tracy, my sister, a few of us. Pepsi. A few of us were over at my parents' place. Played a mystery board game. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we also had a little cola taste test to see who could tell the difference between Pepsi and Coke.
Before you keep going, I'm recording my video for the Maritime Warrior, and I get sent like 10 videos by Corey in our group chat, and I'm like, what? Like, I thought it was a mistake that he sent the same, and then all of a sudden, it's the taste test, and interesting stuff.
Yeah, the girls could tell Coke from Pepsi. I could not, but then Pepsi versus Diet Pepsi versus Pepsi Zero. I nailed it. Mm-hmm. Coke versus Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. I nailed it, which to me is quite funny because Tracy is an avid Pepsi drinker. I don't really drink much pop. I'm not a big soda guy. I'm fat, not because of pop. I'm fat because of chips and crappy foods. Tracy's a big Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Zero, whatever person. And she thought for sure, and I thought for sure she'd get at least the Pepsi one, right? But she did not. So, then we played a game called Who Killed Mia Star? It's like a murder mystery where you scan a QR code and there's a video that goes along with it, and then you open up packages of clues, and you get all the clues for the first round, clues for the second round, and slowly you're narrowing down who the killer is. It's a lot of fun, actually. It's kind of interesting. It was it was an interesting New Year's, but a lot of times. I think in the future, definitely we'll all get together again on New Year's. This year was a tough year, so we weren't all together. But I think we got to get together and grab some pizza light or something sometime soon. That's
absolutely.
For sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a must. So yeah, we had a good New Year's Eve, but we had a quiet New Year's Eve. We're not big people to go out a ton or whatever. We're kind of chill, laid back. So we rested up a little bit, getting ready for hockey to start back up. That's kind of one of our focuses. So we're almost ready to go again this Friday, and then it's a few weeks, and then the playoff push begins. So excited.
And one last thing, since we finally have the chance to gloat about this, but Montreal won 6 out of their last 7, beat Florida, Tampa Bay, and Vegas all on their home ice.
You should see the fucking smile on this guy's face. He's so happy right now.
I know Corey's gonna kill me for this.
Oh god!
I had a conversation with my mom while we were driving to my aunt Linda's earlier, and I asked her, I'm like, "Hey, mom, say Patrick Roy," and she goes, "Patrick Roy." I'm like, "You know how Corey says it?" She's like, "How?" I'm like, "He says Patrick Roy."
I say Patrick instead of. What do you say?
Patrick. His name is Patrick Roy.
I say Patrick, and I don't know why. And I don't think I could stop if I wanted to.
I laugh every time I hear Corey say Patrick Roy.
Now that I think about it, I don't say Patrick Jones either. Like I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious of where that comes from. My great grandfather was Patrick, and he was always Patrick. Like that's what his name was. That's how he liked it being said. So I think that's where it comes from. And it doesn't make sense why I don't say Patrick Jones. I say Patrick Jones.
Yeah.
I'm I'm curious. Now, the way to make me self-conscious, you prick.
No worries. You do the same for me.
Beat your ass.
And
I would
if it wasn't that I put the jerseys on my wall with numbers facing out, I would have never thought about that. But I got a Patrick Roy jersey and a Carey Price jersey on my wall. So
this guy's a fucking troll. What a douchebag. All right. Well, it's been a good episode. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next Tuesday. I'm going to kick Corey in the shin on Friday in Amherst.
You will.
Nobody there will stop me.
Nope. Not even me.
I'm really excited to get back to the stadium. I'm going to be honest with you. I freaking love that rink. The seats suck. My back hurts. My ass hurts. But what a fun place to take in a hockey game.
It's one of those stadiums that you just like to go exploring. You like to walk around sometimes. It's just so 100%. Good.
You can walk around the top and get to the back. There's amazing stuff on the walls. The banners are great. Just solid rink. Can't wait to get back there. Corey, thanks for joining me. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hope to see all of you out this weekend, checking out some Beausejour Senior Hockey League action. And I hope everybody had a great New Year's Eve. Wish everybody a happy New Year. Hope everybody has a great year. And you get out to see some hockey.
Hell yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Take care, Patrick.